This video is on Task 1 graph analysis. This is an important topic because graphs are the most common type of Task 1 information, and being able to analyze a graph correctly will change your language, your grammar, your vocabulary, and help you get the score that you need. On the other hand, if you don't analyze a graph correctly, it can negatively affect your score in a large way. When trying to analyze a graph, you can ask yourself these questions. Number 1, what are the axes? Number 2, what are the units of measurement? The amount, the percent, age, etc. Number 3, is there more than one group being compared? For example, 3 different countries. Number 4, does it show change over time? This is common for graphs, especially on IELTS Task 1. Number 5, what are the time periods shown? Is it all in the past? Are parts in the present? Is some of it in the future? Number 6, what is the general trend? Is there a general increase, a decrease, a dip, some kind of peak? Number 7, are there any large differences between the groups or charts? And number 8, are there any groups or charts that share similarities? Sometimes Task 1 has 2 charts or a graph and a table or something like that. So are there any similarities between these? What are the biggest differences? And number 9, how can you break the graph that you've been given into 2 parts so that you can have 2 detailed paragraphs when you do your writing? Let's take a look at this graph on the right and go through each of the questions so that you understand what the question's asking. First, what are the axes? Well, on the left, we have the y-axis, and that says men and women in further education, thousands. Can you see that? It shows the number of men and women in further education, and we have 200, 400, 600, 800, 1,000, and 12,000, but the unit is thousands. The x-axis, we have 1970/71, and then we have it twice. Now, when it says 70 to 71, this is actually a school year. So knowing this, you wouldn't want to write only 1970, but you could write the 1970 school year. On the other hand, you could write 1970 to 1971. Number 2, what are the units of measurement? We talked about this before. Here we have the number of men and women in further education in thousands. Number 3, is there more than one group being compared? Okay, so we have a few groups. We have men and women. That's the left side is men, male, and the right side is women, female. And then on the bottom we have full-time education and part-time education. So we have a few different groups here. Number 4, does it show change over time? What do you think? I think yes, it does show change over time. We have the 1970 school year, the 1980 school year, and the 1990 school year. Number 5, what are the time periods shown? Well, this year is definitely past 1990, so all of this is in the past. None of this is in the present, and none of this is in the future. Number 6, what is the general trend? We have a few general trends here, but looking quickly, for full-time education, we can see an increasing trend for both males and females. And as far as part-time education goes, females show an increasing trend, and males have a dip, so a decrease with a slight rise. Those are some general trends. Number 7, are there any large differences between groups or charts? Well, full-time education is much less than part-time education in general, and the only chart that doesn't increase the entire time is male part-time education. Number 8, are there any groups or charts that share similarities? Well, full-time education, both male and female, increase, and part-time education for females likewise increases. So all 3 of these have a similarity. And number 9, how can I break it into 2 parts? We have a few choices. We could do male and then female. We could also do full-time education and then part-time education. Either way would be fine. Did you get an idea of how we should analyze these kinds of graphs? By going through these questions, we now have a general overview of what we can write about in our overview for our task 1 writing, and also an idea of how we're going to break this graph into our detailed paragraphs later on. So your action step for task 1 graph analysis is to find about 5 task 1 questions and just go through the analysis questions for them. You don't need to write anything yet. Just look at the questions that we have here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and go through each of these questions for your 5 graphs. This way, you're practicing the analysis of it. If you try to write everything and go through the whole task every time, you don't really get to practice the point you're weak at. So it's important to break down these different parts and just practice that part so that you can get good at it. Good luck.